What up, everybody? It's your boy, JayHemms. We're back again with another video. Today, I'll be reacting to NBA legends explaining why Larry Bird was so good. So let's go right into the video.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, what's good? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I hope you're ready for your weekly dose of old school NBA basketball. I recently discovered that I didn't cover my second favorite player of all time, Larry Bird, for almost 4 months now, which is way too long. So in today's episode, I want to show you guys NBA legends giving their opinion on how good Larry Bird was, and I really did my best to find some clips that you probably haven't seen a million times before. So yeah, I hope I hit you guys up with some new stuff. And before we start with this episode, I want to ask you guys for a small favor. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the show, and also if you like the content, please hit the like button. All right, enough said. Now let's dive into today's episode. Now, how do we start? I would say let's start with Kevin McHale, the player that probably has the greatest Larry Bird stories. And in the following clip, he's sitting down with the legend himself talking about Larry Legend.
I was laughing because I was in the All-Star game with you when you walked in and asked who was going to get second place in the three-point contest. When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys like you always did.
Yeah, I didn't. I had no clue. I never really practiced. Me and Danny used to shoot some before we went out there, but everybody's sitting there. Everybody's real quiet. You really didn't. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything. So I walk in and look around, and it just came out. I had no clue I was going to win it. But that's just part of the competition.
Okay, last question.
Oh yeah, that's just good competition right there. That's just good. Just regular trash talking. Just going inside the room full of participants in the three-point contest. Yeah, who coming in second? Now that's funny. Now that's actually hilarious. Now I am not gonna lie. That's good Larry Bird won because he would have looked absolutely crazy if he lost. That would have been insane if he lost. Yeah, he had to win that. There's no way he could have lost that. And he's telling everybody before the contest, yeah, who's coming in second. That would have been nuts if he lost that.
That's just part of the competition.
Okay, last question to each of you. Top 5 players of all time.
Kareem, Hakeem, Larry, Mike, and Magic.
Okay. You put Larry Bird over Michael Jordan.
No, I said Mike and Magic, MJ and Magic.
Okay, but you put Larry first.
Now the next clip.
So I guess the guy asked Tim Hardaway. It sounded like that was Vlad. Yeah, it sounded like Vlad asked Tim Hardaway, who was his top 5 players in NBA history. So he said Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson, right? Yeah, Kareem, Hakeem, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Now I'm gonna say my top 5. That's Tim Hardaway Sr. He probably played with them guys, competed against them. That's his opinion. I'm just gonna tell y'all my top 5 players in NBA history though. Number 1, I got LeBron James. Number 2, I'll say Michael Jordan. Number 3, I'll say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 4, Kobe Bryant. And I got Magic Johnson, number 5. So yeah, so that round out like my top 5 players in NBA history. Y'all in the comments below can drop y'all top 5 players in NBA history as well.
You put Larry Bird over Michael Jordan.
No, I said Mike and Magic, MJ and Magic.
Okay, but you put Larry first.
Now the next clip that I want to show you guys is from Wilt Chamberlain, obviously an old clip from, I think, from 1995, and he talks about how great Larry Legend was. Let's check it out.
And talk to me about race for 1 second. Larry Bird is considered a great player, but don't they sort of elevate him because he's a white guy?
Well, I think that may be in the minds of many, but this man also was very, very talented. I think he epitomized what a forward is supposed to do, and especially in the game that he played, because he was technically correct. He was a correct type of basketball player, and most people today don't play the game correctly.
I see.
And he did.
We still haven't heard Kobe.
Now, Will answered that question excellent. But wasn't Larry Bird being white got to do with him, like, people elevating? Larry Bird was a hooper. It didn't matter what color he was. Orange, purple, blue, black. It didn't even matter what color Larry Bird was. Larry Bird was going to get the recognition that he could play basketball. Larry Bird was going to get the recognition. He wasn't, like, elevated because he was white. Like, color don't mean anything with basketball. No, color don't mean anything with sports in general. If you can play, you can play. People will recognize you that you are great at your sport. It don't matter what color anybody is. They won't get elevated because of a certain color. That made no sense to me. Larry Bird was a great player, but he didn't get extra elevated because he was white. Larry Bird in the 80s was in competition with Magic Johnson as the best player in the 80s. If you think he was the best player in the 80s, if you thought he was the second best player in the 80s, either way, he was a top 2 player in the league in the 80s. Either way. Like, he wasn't just straight up elevated because he was white. That makes no sense to me. It's kind of like now a little bit when people talk about Caitlin Clark. Well, y'all, she's only that big because she white. No! She's like the woman version of Stephen Curry. Like, what? Do you see her hoop? Trust me, she's not getting that much hype because she's white. She can hoop. Caitlin Clark is nice. And to add to that, with the great shooting, she's an excellent passer. She's probably the best passer in the WNBA right now. Come on. Like Larry Bird, the brother averaged for his career, I think 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. It didn't matter that he was white. He didn't get extra elevated because he was white. Larry Bird can hoop. Like, come on, give Larry Bird his credit. Like, come on. Larry Bird is a hooper. Like, come on, man. Wilt Chamberlain answered that question excellent. That made no sense to me why he even asked that. That guy asked that. I forgot his name, but I don't even know why he even asked that.
Well, I think that may be in the mind.
Well, let me go back farther.
From 1995, and he talks about how great Larry Legend was. Let's check it out.
And talk to me about race for 1 second. Larry Bird is considered a great player, but don't they sort of elevate him because he's a white guy?
Well, I think that may be in the minds of many, but this man also was very, very talented. I think he epitomized what a forward is supposed to do, and especially in the game that he played, because he was technically correct. He was a correct type of basketball player, and most people today don't play the game correctly.
I see.
And he did.
We still haven't heard Kobe or LeBron being mentioned.
I'm thumb wrestling in that 5 between giving LeBron the edge over Larry. Bird 6.
Okay.
Bird, for those that don't know, won 3 straight MVPs in the league with the Showtime Lakers and Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys president. 3 straight MVPs. MVP.
So you would say that was the baddest white boy ever?
No question. It's not even a guess. No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay. 7.
And he coached me for 3 years in Indiana.
Right.
How about that?
Exactly.
One of the greatest players to ever play this game. A kid from French Lick, Boston, and one of the few guys that ever be in a three-point contest and shoot with a warm-up shirt on. And for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter, but he was so much more than that. He was a passer. He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended, he took charges, and he's a straight-up complete basketball player. And me as a small forward, Scotty, Bird, Doc, George Gervin, the guys that I kind of looked up to being a small forward.
My rookie year.
Regarding like LeBron and Larry Bird, in my opinion, I think LeBron, like I said earlier, is the greatest basketball player ever. I think Larry Bird is the second greatest small forward ever after LeBron. Now, don't get me wrong, both of them, LeBron and Larry Bird, great scorers, great passers, great rebounders. I just give LeBron the edge because I think LeBron was a much better defender than Larry Bird. And I think because LeBron's like 6'8", like 250, 260, and he like a 40-inch vertical, he was just way more dominant than Larry Bird. I just feel like LeBron was just way more dominant. With LeBron, you got to see this guy can do everything on the offensive end. He's great defensively. This brother can score, pass, rebound, block shots, steal the ball. You got to add the fact this brother jumping 40 inches in the air. He's the scariest guy to see in transition. If you see LeBron in transition, just get out the way. If you see LeBron in transition, just get out the way. And he's super quick. So yeah, I just think that's why I think LeBron is better than Larry Bird. Like Larry Bird, don't get me wrong, he was a great player, but that's why I think LeBron's better. I always say LeBron is the greatest all-around player ever in NBA history. I always say that. Larry Bird, he's one of the greatest all-around players ever. Say that's why I think LeBron is better than Larry Bird, though. That's just my opinion, though. But that's nice right here, though. LeBron giving Larry Bird his credit, saying he looked up to him and all that. LeBron, I think there was other. If I'm not wrong, I think there was other times he talked about Larry Bird as well. So LeBron, like he recognized game with Larry Bird. Let's go back to that when LeBron started talking.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay. 7.
And he coached me for 3 years in Indiana.
Right.
How about that?
Exactly.
One of the greatest players to ever play this game. A kid from French Lick, Boston, and one of the few guys to ever be in a three-point contest and shoot with a warm-up shirt on. And for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter, but he was so much more than that. He was a passer. He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended, he took charges, and he's a straight-up complete basketball player. And me as a small forward, Scotty, Bird, Doc, George Gervin, the guys that I kind of looked up to being a small forward.
My rookie.
Respect to LeBron for like getting shout out to like the guys that was in the league from back in the day. Shout out to LeBron for that. Respect.
George Gervin, the guys that I kind of looked up to being a small forward.
My rookie year, Mark Aguirre didn't want to play against the Boston Celtics for whatever reason. Could have been
called Bird Idol.
Yeah, traded match. So I was, I think, at that point, the third small forward, and Larry gave us 50.
So you see the outlet pass, beautiful outlet pass by Tree, goes past the defense. Larry jumps, and I'm like, oh, he's too late. He's too late. And I got fouled on this play, but that dunk was more of a kind of an angry dunk, because I think I got torched a couple of times earlier. So that was a way of getting him back.
Look out! He almost ripped the glass apart on that one.
He said, I like you. You got heart, but I'm still getting 30 on you tonight. But to me, I couldn't believe he jumped at it. When you talk basketball to someone like Larry Bird, you're getting a history lesson too. I mean, the guy is part of history. To play against guys like that in my career, that's once in a lifetime.
Now the next clip
that Dominique Wilkins dunk on Larry Bird is insane. Man, no, Dominique Wilkins, he was nice. I think he's one of the most underrated players in NBA history. Dominique Wilkins was a great player. I don't know why Larry Bird jumped on that, but I don't know why, but he jumped and that's what happened. Dominique Wilkins was a great player, but I think he said that was more of an angry dunk. I ain't gonna lie, Larry Bird did used to be destroying the Atlanta Hawks, though. Then one time he dropped 60 on them. And I think some players on the Atlanta bench, they were celebrating about them getting destroyed. They were celebrating Larry Bird scoring on them. Like, that's crazy. I think them players got fined, too. That's crazy. That's when you know you hooping. Larry Bird dropped 60 on them boys. That's crazy. Yeah, that was his career high, too, yeah. I think Larry Bird career high is 60 points, and he dropped down the Atlanta Hawks, yeah.
Guys like that in my career, that's once in a lifetime.
Now the next clip that we're going to take a look at is with Patrick Ewing on the Dan Patrick Show, talking about his relationship with Larry Bird and what made Larry Bird unique.
Did he talk trash on the floor?
Oh, definitely. I think that story you talked about, X, I think that's one of the stories you got from me.
Oh,
you might have got it from me. Blau used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
So your guys are saying, how can you let this guy?
Oh, he's doing it on everybody.
But playing basketball with Larry Bird was like singing with Jerry Garcia. It was like talking science with Albert Einstein. It was like talking history with Eugene Debs.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I never played with a better player than Larry Bird.
Magic.
Hey, but going back to what Patrick Ewing said, though, like, yeah, a lot of people do say that about Larry Bird, me included. Like, he don't run fast, he can't jump. But I still acknowledge that Larry Bird was a great player, though. I'm talking about compared to, like, the other athletes and all that. He don't run the fastest, and he don't jump the highest. Larry Bird's still a great player. Top 10 player in NBA history. Most definitely.
I never played with a better player than Larry Bird.
Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, Kareem Abdul, all the Laker greats. I would always sit down and just ask them questions about certain games that I studied growing up. What actually happened there? What did you feel there? Why? You know, Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slow to me. So like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Hey, Kobe was funny for that. He talking about he used to be asking Laker legends, like, how you feel right here? Like, what you was thinking right here? Like, stuff like that. Why was it hard to guard Larry Bird? Because he talking about he looked slow to him. No, that's funny. That was actually funny. That was actually funny. Kobe Bryant, speaking of him, he's the one, he was like, he will always be my favorite player. Like I say, Kobe Bryant and LeBron, both of them are my favorite players ever. But like I said, my very first basketball player that I actually liked and like I was into when I was younger was Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant made me like love watching basketball because his mentality, of course, you see right there, him asking questions. He was a basketball savant. He wanted to know everything. I have so much respect for Kobe. Like, man, I am a huge Kobe fan. I'm a huge Kobe fan. Man, I was such a big Kobe fan. I used to not like LeBron when I was younger. I know it's hard for y'all to believe because now I think LeBron the GOAT, but there was a time I didn't like LeBron. That totally changed now, but that's how much I rocked with Kobe. I used to not like LeBron. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hate him now. I just wanted LeBron to lose when I was younger. I just wanted him to lose. I never thought he wasn't a great basketball player. I never thought he wasn't clutch or a choker. I just wanted bro to lose. LeBron could drop 70 a game. I just wanted bro to lose. I just wanted Kobe to get all the rings. I don't know if they did an interview together or not, but if Kobe Bryant did an interview with Larry Bird, I think that would be an excellent interview. Like them two just talking. Well, it even have to be like an interview. It could be like just a regular discussion, just them two just talking about basketball. That would have been very interesting to see that. Kobe Bryant and Larry Bird. I would have watched that for sure.
Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, Kareem Abdul, all the Laker greats. I would always sit down and just ask them questions about certain games that I studied growing up. What actually happened there? What did you feel there? Why? You know, Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slower to me. So like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Fakes it.
Bird. He passed it off the backboard to himself.
This guy was going to do one thing almost every night that really spun your head around. Made you do like a Lyndon Blair. You just couldn't believe this was happening.
Harris. Bird to Vincent to Bird. Over the backboard! Oh, God, don't believe it.
He was playing chess and everybody else was playing checkers. He was 3 moves ahead of everybody else. And you never knew what he was going to do, but you knew it was going to be something special.
Bird steals it. You can see it coming, and look at the pass to McHale.
Isn't that beautiful?
He would do a head fake, or he would do this, and the guy would turn, and he would just fake the crap out of guys.
No, for real though. Larry Bird fakes used to be out of this world. Like Larry Bird, like his pump fakes and his fake passes, oh, those were lethal. A player now I can think of with his pump faking, like his fake passes, he be getting players turning around like that. Luka for sure. Luka Doncic, his fakes be crazy.
Do this, and the guy would turn, and he would just fake the crap out of guys.
There's the play of the game right there.
Larry used to come in the locker rooms. He'd be getting his ankles taped, and he'd say, you know, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. You know, he needed those kind of challenges.
Bird with the step. Talk about creativity.
One of the great fourth quarters in NBA playoff history, Game 7 against Detroit in 1987, Larry Bird suddenly, for no explicable reason, decided to bank in a left-hand 15-footer.
Larry Bird. I don't believe that, John.
And I can tell you, talking to Magic Johnson, that the Lakers were watching that game. This guy just about fell off the chair, you know, just laughing. And I asked him about it. It was just because. He was amusing himself. in a playoff game.
Ron posted to his Instagram that he believes Larry Bird could have dominated in any era. And Shannon, you've often said Larry.
Oh yeah, Larry Bird. Oh yeah, he loves scoring off his offhand, especially when he in the post. Cause like if I watch like a Larry Bird highlights, like he be in the post, did he dribble towards the middle? He like doing that. He like doing like a left hand hook. If you watch Larry Bird back in the 80s and like early 90s, he liked scoring with his left hand, especially in the post. Because there are a lot of highlights, Larry Bird, he'll be in the post, then he'll like dribble towards the middle, then like just do like a left hand hook. So yeah, Larry Bird in the post, he loves scoring with his left hand.
In NBA playoff history, Game 7 against Detroit in 1987, Larry Bird suddenly, for no explicable reason, decided to bank in a left-hand 15-footer.
Of course, this shot wasn't in the post, but I'm just saying most of the time when I see Larry Bird use his left hand, he mostly be in the post.
For no explicable reason, decided to bank in a left-hand 15-footer.
Larry Bird, I don't believe that shot.
And I can tell you, talking to Magic Johnson, that the Lakers were watching that game. This guy just about fell off the chair, just laughing. And I asked him about it. It was just because. He was amusing himself in a playoff game.
Ron posted to his Instagram that he believes Larry Bird could have dominated in any era. And Shannon, you've often said Larry was your favorite player growing up. And we know your stance on LeBron being the GOAT, but how close was Larry Bird to LeBron? I start with you.
I think they're closer than people think. I don't think people realize just how talented Larry Bird was and how great he was. Larry Bird was a career 24, 10, and 6 guy.
Was on the 10 seconds, and we came back out of the...
No, I agree. I said it earlier in the video. LeBron and Larry Bird is the greatest small forwards in NBA history. And I do agree with LeBron. Larry Bird would have dominated in any era. Yeah, I posted a tweet on Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to show it on here. I pretty much was explaining in today's NBA, we have players like Luka Doncic and Jokic. Players that don't jump the highest or don't move the fastest, but they can score, dribble, can pass, rebound. And of course, I think Luka and Jokic are 2 of the top 5 best players in the NBA right now. I just don't understand. You see players like them killing it in the NBA, but there's people that don't think Larry Bird will be killing it in today's NBA. Like Shannon Sharp just said, Larry Bird for his career averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Larry Bird will be killing it in today's NBA. Now, the one difference I say with Larry Bird between Luka and Jokic, I do think Larry Bird is a better defender than Luka and Jokic. I'm not saying Larry Bird is like straight up locked down, like he clamping you up, but I do think he was a better defender than Luka and Jokic. Larry Bird for sure would be good in any era. Once you can dribble, pass, and shoot, you're going to be good in any era. Like, come on. Either way with basketball. It don't matter if you're in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. It don't matter what era. If you can dribble, pass, and shoot, you're going to fit right in. You're going to fit right in.
It was just because. He was amusing himself in a playoff game.
Ron posted to his Instagram that he believes Larry Bird could have dominated in any era. And Shannon, you've often said Larry was your favorite player growing up. And we know your stance on LeBron being the GOAT, but how close was Larry Bird to LeBron? I start with you.
I think they're closer than people think. I don't think people realize just how talented Larry Bird was and how great he was. Larry Bird was a career 24, 10, and 6 guy.
Was on the 10 seconds, and we came back out of the timeout. Larry said, I'm going to get it right here, X, and I'm going to shoot it in your blinking face. And I was like, well, I'll be right here waiting on you, too.
Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Bird hits the hook. What a shot by Larry Bird.
He hit it and looked at me, and he was like, I didn't mean to leave nothing on the clock. And I just looked at him and said, oh, conceited bastard.
The greatest buzzer beater of them all was against
this brother, Larry Bird. Larry Bird told Xavier McDaniel he was going to make the shot in his face too, but he did like a step back. Was that like a step back over 2 of them though? Let me go. That shot was crazy. Larry Bird like stepped back over 2 for game. That is nuts.
I'll be right here waiting on you too.
Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Bird hits the...
Yeah, step back over 2 people for game is crazy. Yeah, Larry Bird was nice.
Let's see if they wind it all the way down. Bird hits the hook. What a shot by Larry Bird.
He hit it and looked at me and he was like, I didn't mean to leave nothing on the clock. And I just looked at him and said, oh, conceited bastard.
the greatest buzzer beater of them all was against Portland on a Sunday afternoon in Boston.
DJ again to make the inbounds pass. The double team at Bird. Larry, fake, fall away. Hits it! All right!
The gentleman you just talked about, Larry Bird.
Oh, that's the man. He's like your Magic, your Kareem. You know, that once in a lifetime player, franchise changing player. That's the category that Larry was in. And not to mention, I like the way he led us as a team. He wasn't in your face, you know, that talking trash to you. He led by example.
I hear that you're retiring. Thank goodness. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. Well, a lot of sad memories to me, but you know, I enjoyed you tremendously. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think you had a very wonderful career, even though you probably ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics.
Michael Jordan was funny for that at the end. He said, "Thank goodness you're retiring. I'm tired of seeing your face." He said you had a good career. Pretty much you had a great career, great player. You ruined a lot of good memories I could have had. Well, I'm going back. That's funny. Hold up. I probably went back too far, but oh well.
Team, he wasn't in your face, you know, that talking trash to you. He led by example.
I hear that you're retiring. Thank goodness. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. Well, a lot of sad memories to me, but you know, I enjoyed you tremendously. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think you had a very wonderful career, even though you probably ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics.
That was a great video. Shout out to Basketball Time Machine. So drop down our comments below y'all thoughts about this video, your thoughts about Larry Bird. What's your favorite Larry Bird story? What's your favorite Larry Bird game? Highlight. What did you like about Larry Bird the most? I'm just curious to see what you all think. Furthermore, like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you won't miss another video from me. And I hope everyone have a blessed day. I'm out.